We're back with my UFC Sacramento full card predictions. Starting in the first fight of the night, Chanel Dyer versus Elise Reed. Chanel Dyer is a very good striker. Elise Reed has terrible defense. Chanel Dyer by knockout. Second fight of the night, we got Wes Schultz versus Jackson McVeigh. Schultz is really creative on the ground, slick submissions, but Jackson McVeigh is better on the feet, and I expect him to knock out Wes Schultz. It's either McVeigh knockout or Wes Schultz submission. Third fight of the night, I'm excited for this one. Gage Young versus Stan Dorsonville. Dorsonville's 5-0, not much experience. He's a pretty reckless wrestler. He's very aggressive, and Gage Young has some slick boxing and very creative with his strikes and how he mixes it up. I'm going to say Gage Young gets his first ever TKO in the UFC. Safe play would be decision, though. Then moving on up to Marcio Barbosa versus Ryan Hughes. Marcio Barbosa is on a 5-fight knockout streak. 15 out of his 18 wins are by knockout, and I expect him to add to that in this one. Round 1 knockout over Hughes. Then we got Chris Padilla versus Nasrat Haqparast. This is a pretty controversial one. Padilla was the underdog. Now he's a slight favorite. I think Nasrat's being overlooked after being head kicked by Quillen Salkild. He's a pretty smart fighter, and I think he's going to be able to handle the pressure of Chris Padilla. Give me Nasrat by decision. Then we got Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Shamil Gaziev. Kennedy's coming off a draw versus Marcus Buchecha, and then Shamil Gaziev is coming off 2 losses where he got knocked out in both. I feel like this fight could go either way, so give me the dog and Kennedy. Then we got Jamal Emmers versus Leon Douglas. Douglas is a really hyped-up prospect. He's got power in his hands. Jamal Emmers is solid, though. He's got a decent stand-up, but where he really wants to take this fight is on the ground, and I think the line is a bit skewed. But I think Jamal Emmers' groundwork will be able to lead it into the second round where Leon Douglas finds a TKO. Then opening up the main card, we got Anthony Went versus Terrence Chapman. Pretty much a Contender Series fight on the main card. Went just fought on the Contender Series a week and a half ago, and Chapman is making his debut. Chapman's a really big guy, weighed in at 266. And Went's a big guy as well. Not as big as that, but he's very athletic coming from an NFL background. And I think Anthony Went is going to get a TKO here just based off his athleticism. Next up, we got Carly Judice versus Jaisla Chavez. And Judice is a really good striker. She's really good on the feet, mixes it up well. Chavez isn't bad on the feet either, but she starts pretty slow, which is why I believe Judice is going to get a decision win. Then we got Markel Medeiros versus Mason Jones. This one's tough because I like both of them. This is a very risky underdog pick. I see why he's the underdog. He fights on the back foot a lot. And Mason Jones is a wild brawler. He's going to bring a lot of pressure, and he has the grappling upside. But Mason Jones gets hurt in a lot of his fights, and I think Medeiros, with his precision striking, is going to be able to hurt Mason Jones, and I'm banking he gets him out of there and doesn't let Jones recover. If Jones recovers, it's over for Medeiros. We got Renier de Ridder versus Roman Dolidze. 2 middleweights making their light heavyweight debut, which I believe favors de Ridder. He was having a really tough cut to make 185. And I think Renier de Ridder is just better than Dolidze everywhere. I expect him to get a TKO here. In the co-main event, we got Sergey Spivak versus Vitor Petrino. Spivak is the underdog, and I believe Spivak gets this done by utilizing his jab when they're on the feet, and he has the wrestling advantage. Vitor Petrino does pack a punch, but we've seen Spivak be able to get out of the way of power punches, and he's able to eat power punches. So give me Sergey Spivak by decision. Main event of the evening, we got Anthony Fluffy Hernandez versus Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. I'm going to pick Fluffy here, although he could get knocked out. It's very possible. If he fought like he did against Sean Strickland, being timid, standing at range, then yeah, he most likely gets TKO'd by RoboCop. But I am banking on the fact that Anthony Hernandez is going to fight this fight the way he used to fight, as he should be fighting, using grappling heavy pressure, and being aggressive, not letting RoboCop do whatever he wants to him. RoboCop's cardio is not the best, so I believe Anthony Hernandez takes this into the later rounds and gets a round 4 TKO over a gassed RoboCop. Thank you for watching. Those are my UFC Sacramento full card picks.